Why do you pray for an easy life? The warrior prays for strength. The two paths are not the same. One path seeks comfort. It builds walls to keep out the storm. It hopes the world will ask less of it. It begs for the battle to be gentle. This is the path of the herd. It leads to a life of quiet desperation, a slow decay of the spirit in a fortress of mediocrity. You know this path. You walk it every day. The other path is different. It does not pray for the storm to pass. It prays for the strength to stand in its eye. It does not wish for a lighter burden. It builds a stronger back. This is the warrior's path. It is a path of deliberate hardship, a path of unyielding discipline. It is the path that forges a human being into something more. The modern world has sold you a lie. It has told you that the goal is to be comfortable, to be safe, to be entertained. It has given you endless distractions to shield you from the one thing that can make you powerful: pressure. You have been taught to fear the very force that sharpens the sword. Today, we correct this weakness. We learn the principle of treading on the sword. Consider your work, that difficult project you avoid, the one with high visibility, the one where failure carries a real consequence and scrutiny is guaranteed. You delegate it, you delay it, you tell yourself you're being strategic, but you know the truth. You are afraid. You're choosing comfort over competence. This is where you must learn to tread on the sword's edge. This principle is not about seeking random danger. It is about deliberately placing yourself in a state of high-stakes readiness, where your focus must be absolute, because the cost of failure is real. It is the conscious choice to operate where the margin for error is thin, because it is in that narrow space that true skill is forged. To tread on the sword is to make pressure your training ground, not your executioner. Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest swordsman in Japan's history, did not become a legend in the dojo. He became a legend through more than 60 duels. Each one was a life-or-death scenario. He wasn't practicing a form. He was testing his spirit against another's, with everything on the line. He lived his entire life on that razor's edge. His training was not for points, it was for survival. He understood that only under the absolute pressure of a real consequence could he achieve a state of perfect clarity and flawless action. The takeaway is this: that project you fear is your duel. The scrutiny is the opponent's blade. By avoiding it, you are not preserving yourself. You are telling your spirit that it is not strong enough. You are choosing to remain dull. Embrace the pressure. Let the high stakes strip away your hesitation and force you into a state of supreme focus. That is how you sharpen your blade. If you feel resistance to this idea, that is the weakness you must confront. Now consider your relationships, the necessary uncomfortable conversation you refuse to have. With a partner, a subordinate, a superior, you allow a problem to fester, a resentment to grow, a standard to slip. You choose the temporary peace of avoidance over the lasting strength of resolution. The silence is comfortable, but it is the silence of rot. Treading on the sword here means facing the conflict head-on. The sword's edge is the uncomfortable truth. To walk it is to speak that truth directly and without malice, accepting the immediate emotional pressure it creates. This pressure is a clarifying agent. It burns away ambiguity and forces a resolution. It is painful for a moment, but it prevents the slow, agonizing death of the relationship, the team, or your own integrity. Musashi wrote extensively on strategy in his Book of 5 Rings. A core tenet is perception, seeing things as they are, not as you wish them to be. He understood that a small opening, a minor weakness left unaddressed, becomes a fatal vulnerability in combat. He would see your festering conflict as a strategic blunder, a self-inflicted wound born of cowardice. He would have struck at the problem's heart the moment it appeared. So here is your takeaway. The momentary pain of a difficult conversation is the price of strength. The weakness bred by avoidance infects everything you do. Confrontation is not aggression. It is a tool for forging clarity and order. Use it. Look at your daily habits, the easy workout that maintains your weakness, the familiar book that teaches you nothing new, the safe investment that guarantees you will never achieve true freedom. You are surrounded by opportunities for growth, yet you consistently choose the path of least resistance. You are not resting, you are stagnating. Treading on the sword in your daily life means making a conscious choice for strategic difficulty. Choose the heavier weight. Read the book that challenges your worldview. Take the calculated risk where you have skin in the game. This is how you expand your capacity. Growth does not happen in a state of equilibrium. It is an adaptation to stress. No pressure, no growth. It is the fundamental law of all nature. Musashi was renowned for his two-sword style. It was unconventional, more difficult to master and devastatingly effective. He did not settle for the common path. He sought a harder, superior way. Even in his later years, he pursued mastery in arts like calligraphy and painting with the same ferocious intensity, constantly pushing himself to the edge of his ability. He never allowed himself to become comfortable. He never stopped treading the sword. The takeaway is absolute. Your comfort zone is a cage you have built for yourself, decorated with cheap pleasures. Deliberately choosing discomfort is how you discover the key. Real growth exists only at the boundary of your current capabilities. You must go there, on purpose. Do not misunderstand. This is not a call for burnout. It is a call for strategy. Train harder than you fight. Your preparation must be more grueling than the performance itself. If you have a public speaking engagement, practice until your voice is raw. If you have a physical challenge, train for a standard that makes the real test feel like a warm-up. Musashi survived his duels because his daily training was a relentless war against his own imperfections. The duel itself was merely the final, inevitable expression of his preparation. You must also seek auditable stakes. Make your goals public. Enter the competition. Put your own money on the line. Create a situation where you cannot back down without consequence. This external pressure is the modern equivalent of accepting a duel. It will force you to become the person capable of victory. Pressure is not your enemy. It is the sculptor's chisel. Comfort is not your reward. It is the rust that consumes the blade. Stop running from high-stakes situations. Start using them. Forge yourself in the fires of voluntary hardship. Only then will you discover the unbreakable power of a mind that does not pray for an easy life, but has forged the strength to master a hard one. What pressure have you been avoiding? Name it. In the comments, acknowledge the duel you have been refusing. If you are ready to walk this path, subscribe. We will not offer you comfort here. We will offer you steel. The choice is yours. The resources are on the screen.